so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Minus 22. That's even lower than Andrew Mangiapane. The weather would be the green jacket leader in tonight's game between the Oilers and the Red Wings. That's hard to do.
You could say the weather can't play 5-on-5, Reed.
That's correct. Mangiapane's minus 15. Nuge is minus 11. Nurse is minus 9. Kulak's minus 8. On the other side of the ledger, Albert Johansson is minus 13. Axel Sandin Palika is minus 12. Marco Kasper is minus 12. Travis Hamonic is minus 11 in only 17 games. My goodness. This could be an interesting one tonight at Rogers Place. Oilers, Red Wings. Here's what I'll tell you. Speaking of these minuses, we could see some goals tonight. Offensively, the Oilers are pretty good. 3.3 per game. 7th. Wings, a little better than average. 3.13, 13th. Defensively, the Wings are 25th, allowing 3.32 goals against per game. And the Oilers even worse, 28th, 3.47 goals against per game. The goaltending matchup is expected to be Skinner against Talbot. Skinner with an .887 save percentage. Talbot, 38 years of age, is .884, as the Oilers will try to end this 5-game homestand on a winning note. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. I'm Reed Wilkins in for Dustin Nielson today. Two Guys and a Goalie presented by GS Construction. They're hiring now. GS is looking for experienced pipe layers, operators, topmen, and superintendents. Visit gsconstruction.ca. Joining me here in the main studio at Edmonton Sports Talk Global HQ is the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Hi, Reed.
And from a undisclosed remote location, perhaps an Antarctic bunker where it's probably warmer, the other guy, Matt Kassian.
Yeah. Little, maybe. Probably not. Probably not. The kid's pestilence that is going around is real. And it still hasn't hit me, but it continues to ravage the Kassian household. So it's a little dicey around here these days.
Well, you got the toucan in the house. Is the furnace
It's cold.
working?
Well, no, it's the basement just doesn't warm up that much. So it's like whatever it is, like normally in the house up there, it's warm, but I'm regulated to the bunker, which is okay. And even more so because there's kids that aren't at school today as they normally would be because of the aforementioned pestilence. And so it's like I get cold down here. I got some warm slippers on too, Reed. You can't see them, but they're warm and they're comfortable. They're made out of wool or something like wool, and they're warm and they're comfortable.
Well, this is the warmest it's going to be today. I'm just double checking the weather app. We've hit our high. It starts going down minus 23 at about 4 o'clock.
No.
The high tomorrow is minus 23. The high Saturday is minus 12, minus 9 Sunday, minus 3 Monday. We could do our shows outside.
Wow.
We could do them on our deck.
That's going to feel really warm.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I'll only be wearing a toque at that time.
That's right. How would you guys pack? Like, I don't know. Like, would you have to, like, if you were playing? Well, what's the warmest weather team you guys would have played for? I guess nobody.
No one.
Unfortunately.
Houston. For me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Houston. For a
But
number of years, yeah.
how far north would you go? Like, would you ever have a road trip where it'd be like, well, Vegas, but then we're somewhere in Minnesota or something?
Oh, yeah. No, you were Chicago, like that Chicago trip, and we played them a lot in the same division. So it's like you'd play Chicago, you do Rockford, you do Peoria, kind of all we'll call them Illinois in area teams. And it was brutal. Like it was cold. I mean, Rochester, because you're going there too. Like those, like generally it's not as cold as it is like in Edmonton because it's not as far north, but you still get it. And going from Houston to there, that sucks. I mean, it's like you have your traveling winter coat you have to take with you. But yeah, it's a little different than going to the rink in flip flops in the middle of February, which is what you do in Houston.
Right. Somebody in the nasty chat wondering if you're ice fishing. I mean, you could be in a little ice fishing hut doing your hit.
You never know. You would never know.
No, little Starlink and you're good to go. That might be an idea.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Do you go for ice fishing?
No, I don't fish at all. Do I strike you as someone who would fish?
Yeah, you do.
Really?
Yeah. Well, your uniqueness with the board games and figurine painting, which I've just recently got into myself. It's not unlike tying your own flies too. So I still have all my fly tying kits that I've tied up a few flies.
Right.
So, I would say, maybe.
Oh, maybe I'd enjoy. My uncle who lived near New Norway down by Camrose had like a big dugout. And I fished there a couple times, just standing on the shore. And once I had a fish, but I was probably like 9 or 11 and I couldn't reel it in. I was too weak. But I guess there might be a relaxation that perhaps a certain zen,
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Catching your own, because everybody knows your meat always tastes better when you kill it yourself.
I distinctly remember I was just outside of Chilliwack, and I went fishing and I started tying my own flies for the first time. And there was nothing is more exhilarating than catching a fish on your own fly, right? So you fooled the fish into thinking something's actually real. And it was just a little, it wasn't big at all. But I was using really like not strong tests, maybe like 3-pound tests. So I battled this little thing on my own fly. It was great. It's a lot of fun.
Well, maybe so.
Are you allowed to fish with dynamite still? I feel like
M80s are fine.
Like just like the fish all rain down. I feel like that'd be something.
You seem like a fisherman more to me, Kass.
No, I do a little bit actually. So that dynamite's a joke. I would never do that. Well, I would, but I wouldn't. Well, maybe I would. No, I do a little bit. I'm not like hardcore. I don't do the fly fishing, although the idea of it sounds fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the idea of it sounds fun, but I do enjoy fishing and being out in the water. I don't get to do it as much now with the kids. Although I do feel like as a dad, that's something you can take your kids to go do. And the girls, like, they all like it. The middle one definitely would grab the fish, grab them right by the eyeballs. She had to, like, she'd be all over that. The oldest would probably like the idea of like catching one on the hook, and then would be extremely upset that it's actually on the hook and you have to take it off and let it go. The youngest one's still a wild card. So I probably should get him out a little bit more. Fishing is great. It is fun. I enjoy it.
Should talk to Santa, because those, I just saw the Barbie fishing rods at Cabela's.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wonder what strength those are.
We got a couple of those. I think they're like frozen Disney ones or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we got a couple. Yeah. Yeah, we're fishing rod. Yep.
All right, I'll tell you what. If you are listening to us, it is Two Guys and a Goalie, not the fishing hour here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Though that was fun. If you have us on YouTube today, remember to give the show a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get over 100 in just an hour. That'd be pretty cool. You can chat in the nasty chat with us and often just with each other. You can text 780-218-9999 if you have any questions for the guys or you want to bring something up. Shovelhead says, hey, Reed, it's minus 26 up north here, and I'm shoveling snow all afternoon. So, yeah, wherever you are, I don't know how far up north that is, but a lot of shoveling going around, I'm sure, in all areas of northern Alberta. So the Oilers and the Wings are playing tonight. Edmonton now 13, 11, and 6. Wings doing pretty good, 17, 11, and 3 on the season. They have Alex DeBrincat, who has 16 goals. Dylan Larkin has 17 goals. Lucas Raymond has 10. The Oilers leaders, of course, Draisaitl with 17 goals, McDavid with 16. Then with no Roslovic, it drops down to Nuge with 7. Podkolzin, obviously. I asked this to Jay the other day. Could Podkolzin, I'll look up the stats here so I have them for you guys. Could Podkolzin finish in the top 5 in goals on the Oilers this season? So I'll tell you what it is right now. And there's a couple things to remember here. So Draisaitl has 17, McDavid has 16. We're going to assume they're 1-2. Mm-hmm. Now Roslovic has 10, but we don't know when he's going to come back. Nuge has 7. Savoy and Podkolzin both have 6. Draisaitl and Nurse have 5 each. Mangiapane 4. Now Hyman only has 2 in 11 games. I think at some point Hyman's going to have a stretch where he has 4 goals in 3 games and gets on the power play. But Podkolzin, I mean, hey, he's at a respectable 15-goal pace. He wants to keep shooting, like he said after that game when I asked him, and he's found a couple ways to score. Mm-hmm. He banked it up Bobrovsky's head. That's a clever shot. He fired the one-timer against Seattle. Yes, it was a bad goal by Decord, but he shot it, and putting it in off the goalie still counts. So could Podkolzin be a top 5 Edmonton Oilers goal scorer this season?
I'm going to say yes, but the only reason is I think Hyman's behind the 8 ball to where he gets up to speed, right? I would say he's outside if Hyman starts the season and he's not injured, because he's probably got more goals by now anyways. But yeah, I think there could be something there. I think he should finish with more goals than Savoy. When you mention those players, yeah, I think he should be top 5.
This is tough. I guess it's tough. This is tough. If he actually, with where he's playing, yeah, he probably should be. He probably should be. I do wonder, because it's Savoy and Roslovic. Like if Savoy keeps where, so here's what I wonder a little bit. Okay, so let's assume the Oilers get relatively healthy, stay relatively healthy the rest of the way when Roslovic comes back, or at least your top guys do, which possible, maybe not. We'll see. Where does Podkolzin fit in if Savoy continues to put up points here and Roslovic comes back? Like, could you see it being like a Savoy, Draisaitl, Roslovic line, or does Savoy automatically be the guy that gets bumped down? Because to me, I'm like, Podkolzin, the only way Podkolzin is in the top 5 is if he's playing in the top 6 consistently for the rest of the season. But if he gets moved around at all, he's probably not finishing there. So, I don't know. To me, it just depends on how healthy Roslovic comes back and where he slots in the lineup and the success or less success of Matt Savoy moving forward. There's some unknowns there. Does he probably do it? He probably does it, but I don't know, guys. I can't, me saying he probably does, it's not like an absolute certain thing.
It's weird to think about it because what we've seen so far, let's say just over the last month, I mean, Hyman was down on that third line for a bit too, right? And once Roslovic comes back, I think it depends on how that the McDavid line is going. If Nuge and Hyman and McDavid are playing like they did in the games prior to Buffalo, that unit probably stays the same. And it depends on, I guess, how Nobla views the play of Podkolzin and Savoy once Roslovic's back, right? Because Roslovic looked good with both Connor and Leon. So, but I think when he comes back, unfortunately for probably Savoy, I just think he would be the one to go down to third line duties while Roslovic goes back because, well, hey, he's been in one of the bright lights this season with 10 goals already.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and he finishes much better than I thought he does, and I think he's like in terms of his mid-range shot, it's better than Hyman's. Though I know Hyman occasionally wrists ones in where you're like, oh yeah, I forgot how well he shoots the puck, but he's not looking to do that. Roslovic's more of a sniper type player, and the way the beauty of Podkolzin is the way he plays. He could play on almost any line and be trusted. Now, will he produce enough? But I mean, speaking of plus minus, and I know everybody, well, Reed, you don't talk about plus minus. You're so old. I do talk about it when it extremes.
Yeah.
Because he's plus 11. Vasily Podkolzin is plus 11. Okay? On a team with a slightly negative goal differential. I know, special teams is part of that. Draisaitl's plus 7. So, and then I gave, some really good, it seems to me like the consensus is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is actually having a pretty good year. Yet he's got a horrible minus this year. Second worst on the team. Like there's a 22 even strength goal differential between Podkolzin and Nugent-Hopkins. Now, Nuge you pay the price, I guess, for some empty net goals when you're behind in games like that. But Podkolzin, and this is the one thing I've really learned about him over the last year and a third. He does not make a huge mistake. Even when the Oilers were playing poorly, and in some of those games, you might say, man, like they got nothing, they got no juice. Look at all these screw-ups. Podkolzin was never really at the center of them. You know what I mean? Like he's not throwing the puck away through the middle. He's not failing to engage in board battles. Like he's an interesting player because I think he's very safe. I think he's very, very technical. And if he does start producing a little more, like again, with that plus minus, like clearly he's not on the ice for a lot of goals against. So that's interesting. If Roslovic comes back, do you say, okay, Podkolzin's so safe, we can put him on the third line and that beefs up that line? Or do you say, no, he deserves to be up there with Leon and digging the pucks for Leon. And that makes that line less likely to be scored on. I don't know.
Yeah, what you said about the mistakes, he doesn't. You don't see the I would categorize it as poor decision making. He rarely makes a poor decision with the puck. Right? He might lose a board battle with a guy, but not for lack of effort. Just someone makes a good play and might get a scoring chance. But there's a very consistent level of two-way hockey with Vasily Podkolzin, but you want that the offensive side of that two-way play to kind of emerge a little bit more. Great goal last game, out battling, 3 Buffalo Sabres in front of the net, essentially. And look, we've seen in the past, the people that Leon Draisaitl like to play with usually play with him.
Right. So
I think
wonder how that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think he's basically stapled to that line for now.
James in the nasty chat does a good point. He said Pods did make a blind behind the pack pass first shift with Draisaitl McDavid, probably his most egregious error so far as an Oiler. Yeah, was that the last game? I think because he got a shift with them.
Oh yeah,
he did spin and drop that one in the slot, and it was almost shocking to see him do that because usually he's putting the puck in the right direction. So Oilers and Red Wings tonight at 7:00. I want to talk to you guys about Cam Talbot, and I want to use that as a jumping off point for maybe older players. It doesn't have to be goaltenders that you guys played with. Cam Talbot, first of all, he broke in to the NHL as a 26-year-old in 13-14. He went to Alabama Huntsville as a college. The reason I remember that is because I used to have a caller on Overtime Open Line who hated Cam Talbot and always brought up you should never draft anybody from a non-traditional hockey school.
Jeez, really?
So anyway, he's with the Rangers. He's the backup to Lundqvist. I didn't even remember this. In 14-15, he wound up playing 36 games.
It was unreal.
And he was 7th in the Vezina voting.
Yeah.
it's kind of a fill-in. And then he's traded to the Oilers. They missed the playoffs his first year. He sort of took the net away. I think, was it Gustafsson was the other goalie that year?
I want to say Brossoit, but...
Oh, no, he was in 16-17.
Okay.
He was in the playoff year. Let me double check this, Gager. Man, oh man, there's been a lot of... I wonder if I could list every goalie even I've covered. Anders Nielsen. Talbot and Anders Nielsen and Brossoit played a few games, and then the next year. So then in 16-17, they break the playoff drought. He plays 73 games, wins 42 of them, and has a .919 save percentage. Now, even in the 9-10 years since then, save percentages have gone down. I mean, McDavid led the league in scoring that year. He got to 100 points. There's going to be guys at 100 points in late February this year. Well, I guess there's the Olympic break, but you know what I'm saying. Then the Oilers get bad again. He's .908. He's .893 as an Oiler in 31 games in 18-19, and he's traded. And he's in Philadelphia, whatever. He's in Calgary, pretty good. .919, fights Mike Smith. Didn't have to do that, but he did. I mean, Talbot's a pretty big guy. He was the smaller guy.
Yeah, smaller guy, like 6'4", too, which is funny.
Goes to the Wild. He's .915, .911. Didn't have great numbers in Ottawa. He's an LA King. He's .913. Now with Detroit. Last year, .900. This year, he's .884. We're seeing save percentages drop all around the league. So let's make this hired or fired here, because I'll steal from Dusty this morning. Hired or fired for GS Construction. For over 50 years, GS Construction has been proud to serve our communities and work alongside incredible people. Every member of their team has their own story, but they all share one thing in common: a passion for the work we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca today. Hired or fired. Of the last 10 years, Cam Talbot would be at or near the top of the list for the Oilers, the one that got away. Or the one we gave up on too soon. Not we, obviously, as media fans, but the team.
What's the time? Does that have a time limit?
Well, let's go back. We'll use the McDavid era. We'll use the McDavid Draisaitl era. So 14, 15-ish. So that would include the Taylor Hall trade, Yeah,
I think, when Taylor Hall went away, he wasn't that good. And Larson was great. No one even talked.
The first year the Oilers won that trade. Yeah,
obviously everyone would, because he had a Hart Trophy
that
year. But is he the one that got away? And if you think when he left, then they signed Mike Smith, and it was Mike Smith would play, go on a streak of 8 good games, then he'd stumble. Mikko would come in, run for a bit, then he would stumble. It just seemed like either goalie could not get a lot of traction. And then obviously Stuart Skinner comes along, solidifies it for the, for that when the season that he came, he was an all-star, and now the constant question about goaltending. I can't really think of anyone else that's gone on and had. Like you mentioned his numbers. If he continued those types of numbers at Edmonton, I mean, he'd probably still get chastised. But I would have to say he's kind of one that got away to the fact. I never understood the signing of Mikko Koskinen. It's not like he was shooting the lights out and so much better than Talbot. And I remember feeling really bad for him, because here's a guy that he's in the community, and everything he says and does, it looks like he's an Oiler for life, essentially, at this point. And then the signing of Koskinen comes out of the blue, and you just saw his face just, he just kind of, he looked defeated and very upset that happened with so, like, they didn't need to sign. It's
the signing and then the extension.
Yeah.
That was because I remember walking down the hallway with Talbot. It was at the DCA, and I was leaving the area, and he was going back to their dressing room at the same time. And I can't remember how it came up, but it was like 4 or 5 days after they'd signed Koskinen to the extension, and he was like, "That was a tough day."
Yeah.
And then he wound up getting traded.
Yeah.
And he loved living here. Like they had a house by the old museum. Like he loved being here. Now, would he still be here 10 years later?
Ooh, yeah.
That's or almost
never know,
8 years later or whatever. You never know.
But talk about a guy that if Stuart Skinner was the heir apparent, what a good goaltending tandem. I think there's something to having an older guy and a younger guy, right?
Well, let's not forget, and this is in that same time frame from a one who got away conversation. Actually, the exact same time frame. What about Anthony Stolarz?
Yeah.
It was very briefly. That's who he was traded for to Philadelphia.
Yep. So very brief. But if we have to look at like Talbot now versus Stolarz now, I kind of look at it and go like, is Stolarz the one that got away out of that whole, whatever we want to call it, that was from a trading signing standpoint?
And that trade, I think that trade at that time was actually made by Keith Gretzky.
Oh,
right. I think because I think Chiarelli got fired Chiarelli got fired a few days after the Koskinen extension because that was another storyline where it's like, wait a minute, you just committed to a questionable goalie, you let the guy do the contract, and now you're firing him. Now, when Stolarz was an Oiler, he had played 19 NHL games. As a 25-year-old.
As an Oiler? How many does
he played 6.
Okay.
He only started 2.
Yeah.
So he had 6 appearances. And then he goes to Anaheim. Well, didn't play much with Anaheim the 1 year. But yeah, even Anaheim had him as like a second or third goalie. He's the Panthers' backup when they win in Game 7. Because he came in that 8-1 game, remember?
Yeah.
And then now Stolarz this year, we'll see, right? Because he's down to 884 and he's been injured too. Last year he was brilliant with a 926. But that's the interesting thing with goalies. Like if the Oilers just would have said, "Okay, we're gonna just ride Talbot. Like he's our guy. Okay, we're having a bet. We made the playoffs. He was arguably the team MVP, even though McDavid was the league MVP in 16-17. We're gonna commit to this guy. It's not his fault that we're bad, right? If they just commit to him." Could have everybody been like fans as well been willing to see that through? Like, are you better doing that with a goaltender? Once he has 1 or 2 good years, we're going to say, okay, we know there's going to be fluctuation. We need to have 2 good guys, but we can't abandon a guy as soon as he starts to drop off. Once he's taken us to the playoffs once or twice.
It's fun. It's weird to say, but Talbot almost played too good that year because that's when Chiarelli went and thought he'd had to build up for a playoff run, right? Like he masked so many defensive deficiencies with this team with good goaltending, and he was capable of repeating that, but he needed some more support. That was but it's just weird how. And I guess there was the other year, but then you look at the goaltending and it's always under the microscope. But
right.
Didn't he sign after that really good season, like the extension, Talbot's extension? I think he did.
Or did they extend him when they traded? I can't remember the timing for that now, Gager. That's a good question.
Because I'm just looking. He
I can't remember when that was.
Talbot, Rangers, Oilers. So he was with the Oilers for he had the 15-16, and then they signed him.
That's when he really started to come on and look good.
And then
January 2016, he signed the extension.
Okay, so and then and then he signed for a 4-year deal with the Edmonton Oilers at that point, and then got traded to Philly.
Right.
Okay, so they only gave him 4 years, and look, he was 28 at the time. I understand that, I guess. It's just, and it was almost 10 years ago, I guess, but you would see goaltenders sign longer term from that point, I think now.
Right.
But I'm surprised Edmonton didn't actually offer him more because they're famous for giving longer terms and no movements.
Well, especially now. Yeah.
Everybody is now. I got one more for you. Although this one may be a short discussion on the ones that got away, goaltending edition in the McDavid era. If we're not looking at Cam Talbot, Jesper Wallstedt. How about that?
We're doing that again, eh?
How about that? No, we don't need to go there. That's why I said we don't need to go there. But he could be the one that got away.
Yeah,
could be.
I mean, I know this other guy's been injured a lot, but he was afterwards. It seemed like he got things together. But what about Laurent Brossoit? Right?
Yeah.
You know, he was with Talbot for a while, and then I guess they chose Talbot over him. But then again they got a young guy and an older guy. It seemed like a good fit. I guess they were unclear if he could do the backup role.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we got some interesting things like this one that got away thing is, and we're getting non-goaltenders, of course, as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Eberle. Yeah. I mean, what if you just hung on to Eberle and let him grow with some other guys on the team? We know what happened there. Somebody said drafting Puljujarvi instead of Tkachuk. Okay, I mean, I'd always heard they were going to draft Sergachev if they were going to take a defenseman. If Puljujarvi hadn't fallen to them, they might have taken Sergachev there, who wound up going 9th to Montreal. So tons of what ifs. But anyway, all things aside, Talbot has crafted a pretty amazing career. Again, didn't make the NHL till he was 26 years of age. Has probably been written off at least 3 times since he left Edmonton, and keeps fighting and is expected to be the goaltender tonight between the Oilers and the Red Wings. All right, so this is the end of the homestand for the Oilers. I said going in 3-1-1, I'd consider a good homestand. Like, you get 70% of their points. Nobody's. Jay asked me yesterday, who's going to have a harder time making the playoffs, the Leafs or the Oilers? And I thought, well, the Leafs for sure, just because it's such a log jam in there. So 3-1-1, chance to really bank some points on the homestand, maybe assert yourself. I guess the thing is, though, do we trust that there's a bounce back game in this team after what we saw against the Buffalo Sabres? Or is this going to be the team? They might be able to play well for 3 to 5 games, maybe even a week and a half or 2 weeks, and then it's like, no, we still got too many problems, or we just don't have that mentality. Like that first period against Buffalo, the keep away was impressive at times, but the shooting was not.
Yeah.
Like, are they gonna learn from that, Kass? I mean, McDavid said, "I got to shoot more." He shoots more. They do it for 2 games. Like
2 games, yeah.
So.
I mean, we talked last week on the Thursday show of 2 Guys and a Goalie, and we had talked about, how will you know they're back, or are they back all the way? Like, is this, have they turned the corner? Are they going to be playing well the rest of the season? And I kind of had started to move that direction a little bit, and then they have that game and a couple periods that were just very uninspired and more not shooting and not taking opportunities. So it's the inconsistency is quite clearly who they are at this point. And the never being able to predict exactly what type of team you're going to see. Now, what would I like to see is when good teams have games where they struggle a little bit. Now they battle back in the game. They manage to scrap a point out of it. Good teams or great teams even, they find ways to get points when they don't play well. Like, that happens to good teams. So the telling feature is going to be, how do they play tonight? And I don't know going into that, which has been the case for so many games this season. It's not like we're like, they're rolling right now. They're rolling. They're playing every single game. They're up. They're at them. It's going to take an off night for them to lose this hockey game. That's not where we're at with this team. And it hasn't been where we're at all year. So I don't know what version of the team we're going to see. I'll be able to tell you in the first 10 minutes, because that's been pretty clear this year for the most part. So most likely we'll know in the first 10 minutes. But heading into it, I mean, it's a crapshoot, guys. I mean, we could see that team we've seen for a good chunk of the homestand. And if we do, then it could end up being a really solid homestand overall. With, as Reed already said, with good points, good success and even finding a way to get a point in a game where you didn't play very well. I don't know. I don't know. This group is too unpredictable.
It's funny how it hangs in the balance of a good homestand to a horrendous homestand with one game remaining, I think.
Well,
horrendous, but average.
It's 2-1. Yeah. It would just be mediocre, like you're right back where you started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't. It's like these teams that are coming in on the back end of a back-to-back. These are games where you want to take advantage, right? Like, you should be licking your chops for a team and trying to grind them into the dust, and by the third period, being able to take it over. I don't know how they're going to perform tonight. Detroit's a different team than the Buffalo Sabres are. They're puzzling, man. They are a real puzzle. This team that I think it's a huge failure if they don't win tonight on this homestand.
Detroit, I mean, they're first in the division with a negative goal differential. So that's now they aren't first in points percentage. Tampa Bay slightly ahead of them. So they're an interesting team to watch tonight. But you mentioned like go out there and what did you say? Like look forward to the game. Like look forward to grinding this team down. When have the Oilers ever done that? You know, like
well,
okay.
I would say they
jumped on the Jets.
The Jets, it was chum in the water.
Yeah,
it seemed like, right? Seattle,
they just pulled. They jumped on them, let them back in it, and then pulled away.
Half price calamari that night, and it's weird because if you really watch that first 12 minutes, it took 12 minutes for the Buffalo Sabres to have a shot where Stuart Skinner made a really good save, but I felt it was going the same way. It wasn't as intense because they were giving up shot up, but they had some really good looks, right, to score. I go, okay, well, this is only a matter of time. And it just seemed like you know what? We're just going to do the same thing as we've done the last two games. We just got to throw the sticks out there. And before you know it, well, it should have been 4-0. But you look at the Pacific now. I think this is why I think it's really important. I think you're going to start to see a little bit of separation from teams now, right? And they're holding down that second wild card spot right now. And when you look at the teams behind them, I don't think Seattle's going to be there. I think Winnipeg is the only one that I'd really be worried about. They should be able to put things back in place once Hellebuck gets back. Chicago's surprising. But the thing the wrench that's been thrown in there are the Ducks, right?
They're that good.
They're for real.
Well, and the Jets not being that good.
Yeah. That's.
I still have questions about the Ducks, though, guys. I still have questions about the Ducks. And if they come back down to earth a little bit.
Just doing it for a full season, like once they start getting targeted by other teams as like, okay, let's show these guys back in their place.
Yeah, I think they caught a lot of teams sleeping, thinking it's going to be an easy win early in the season.
Are they the Washington Capitals of last year, Kass? Remember, I'm sure we talked about it last year. They were blowing teams away. Right, like they were winning by 2-3 goals, and then if you look at the games, they were still winning, but it was like one goal. It was 2-3-2, 2-1 games, right? So I think there was something to just we're back in Washington because they weren't that good the year prior. There could be something that they're catching teams off guard because that used to be essentially a trip to Disneyland for 2 points.
Yeah, and they were sub 500. They had started to play sub 500 hockey. Now they won the last 3 in a row, and that's kind of pulled them out of that, or evened it up a little bit. So it's like they're better than I thought. I think they're better than I thought they were going to be at the start of the year, because I thought they were going to be middling at best. But I don't know. I don't know if they can sustain. Now I could be totally wrong. Could be totally wrong. They have some really good young players. I thought defensively, defensively, they're not fantastic. And I think offensively, they're shooting the lights out way more than they probably have capacity to for a full season, or for more than that. Like, I mean, it could be not a write-off, but like a one-off outlier, we could call it, from a production standpoint. But I mean, it is the wrench, though, because as we all thought, that we didn't think they were going to be there. So that is the wrench. And then the Winnipeg Jets struggling is also the other wrench. And if Winnipeg turns it around, it could get a little bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I mean, they're finding ways right now. Mm-hmm. So they're in the mix, and that's like the separation to me. What the interesting part of the separation is going to be is how many wild card positions are going to be in play. Like, there's the question of, okay, where does everybody finish? But there's the real question of, okay, who's actually in play for a wild card spot here? Edmonton right now, probably going to be in play for it. Chicago right now, probably going to be in play for it. San Jose, like, are they actually really going to, as the season continues to go here, have a shot at that? And with extra points, maybe they do, but I don't know if you're going to necessarily see in the Pacific separation from the top teams, like a massive separation. But I think you'll just see the bottom end teams in the league drop off even more. I don't know. That's just me kind of thinking out loud. So I don't know if any of that made sense, and I talked for too long, but that's where my brain's at.
Sense to me, Kass. You can talk as long as you want. Oilers and Red Wings tonight, 7:00 at Rogers Place. Of course, we got you covered here on Two Guys and a Goalie. EST afternoons from 1 to 3. My show from 3 to 6. Tom Gazzola will take over at 6:00 for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show to get you ready. So let's go into the final few minutes of the show here. Let's talk about age and aged players.
Okay.
Off the top of your heads, mild for fun trivia. Who's the oldest guy in the league right now?
Brent Burns?
Brent Burns by about 70 days over Corey Perry.
Because Corey Perry is number 2.
Yeah. And then Ovechkin is 40 years and 85 days. So they're the 40-year-olds. Wikipedia has everything. All the oldest players ever. Like, when I think of players who played a long time, were still pretty good, even when they were older. I mean, Chara recently comes to mind. Chelios. I guess Pavelski didn't make it to 40, but he was in his late 30s, wasn't it? He was still good. Thornton. Shanahan played till 40. Was still could have beat up 3/4 of the guys in the league, even in 08, even in 08, 09. What else? I mean, back in the day, Larry Robinson played till he was 40. Modano played till he was 40. I forgot about that. So a bunch of guys, Larionov and Messier played till they were 43. I think they were still pretty effective players. Yeah. Jager, was still 45 playing in the NHL and is still playing. Recchi played till 43. Did you guys play with anybody that was like late 30s, into their 40s?
I got a good one.
Who'd you play with, Kass?
Alfie.
Oh, right. Alfredson.
Yeah, because he would have been 39, or would have been 40 even that last year.
Huh?
No, he would have been 40 when I was playing with him. Yep, he would have been 40. Yeah, I think he was 40.
Said he played till he was 41 in 2014.
So I played with him his second last year, so he would have been 40. Yeah, because I think I remember him turning 40 that year. Or he had turned 40 that season. So he would have been one. Craig Anderson, also on that same team. Now, he was a little younger at that point. He went on to play a number of years after that still. Because he played till he was like 41, 42 as well.
41 as well, yep.
Yeah. So he would have been another one. Now that's the question is, how old was Andrew Brunette when I played with him? Because he was getting up there too, but I can't remember if it was that age. So let's pull that up.
So when a guy's like actually 38, 39, 40, does there start to be like a noticeable generation gap? Like, is it harder for them to talk to the 20 or do the younger kids more look at them as a dad or an uncle than a teammate? You know what I mean?
There's some head shaking.
Yeah, I think there's some head shaking. There's also some adaptation, right, where it influences the older guys too. Some of we'll call it the younger culture, will influence the older guys a little bit too. It goes both ways. There's a little bit of both, right? Like there's a little, here's, you know what, Gager, maybe you jump in on this too. But here's the thing, Reed, for athletes and for hockey players, and I mean, we'll just say a lot of men in general, is we may grow up, we may have real jobs, or not in the case of athletes. We may, be partners or spouses or husbands or whatever, dads. We can be a lot of things. We are still idiot little kids the entire time.
Yeah.
And in a dressing room, it's no different. So I had a phone call this morning with a guy who's a dad. His wife's a teacher. She just went back to teaching. They have a bunch of kids. She was out of the classroom for a while. She's back to teaching now this year, teaching grade 1. And he's like, hey, what do you think of this? To which I said, this sounds like a fantastic idea. He's like, I just ordered a Gingy, the guy from Shrek, the gingerbread man. He's like a full costume. And he's like, because it's my wife's first year teaching again, I called the school and told them, just tell her she has a special guest coming to class, but don't tell her who. And he's dressing up as a gingerbread man to go to her grade 1 class to go read them like a story without her knowing. Which to me, I'm just like, this is amazing. And then he's going to go to his kids who are in the same school. He's going to go like run to their classrooms like as the gingerbread man dressed up without them knowing. And I'm just like, dumb, amazing, beautiful stuff like that. I'm like, that's in the dressing room too. So yes, some of the culture is different. Some of the verbiage is different. Some of the language is different. But like that type of stuff, doing that kind of dumb, amazing stuff, that doesn't change. It's the same. So yes, some of the communication is different. Yes, some of the old guys, we roll our eyes and we shake our fists and probably do what everyone was doing to us to just be like, oh man, these young guys just don't get it. They just don't get it. To which they might not, right? They might not get it, but I don't know. You're still just an idiot kid at heart. And it's a good thing, I think, for the most part.
It's funny because my second tour of duty with Edmonton, my first in 95 was kind of when Ryan Smith was with the team, right? So, and then I was back again with the team in 2001, but Ryan had been obviously with the Oilers during that time, but those guys he was with older players. Mm-hmm. So he was influenced by them. And then when I played, we had a lot of, we had the younger guys. We had obviously Horkoff and Comrie and Anson Carter, myself, Josh Green. So we were a bunch of younger guys. So we would in the choice of clothing, I remember walking in and I had just bought a kind of a fancy new Hugo Boss suit that was a little bit edgy. And Ryan Smith came in. And not to say the other guys didn't look good, because they did, but he had the like Doug Waite and Bill Guerin, they had the pleated pants still, and cuffs and the style was changing. And Ryan dressed like these guys because that's how everyone looked. And so I walk in this suit and Smitty comes over to me in the change room, goes, Gager, where'd you get that suit? And I was like, oh, is this? You like it? He goes, that is amazing. And the next game, he's wearing the suit. I'm like, Smitty, you're stealing my thunder here. So sometimes you get caught in ageism time warp vortex, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Well, now the Oilers just wear the blue tracksuits, the team tracksuits on the plane and all that, right?
I don't mind the blue tracksuits on the plane traveling to places. I think there's something to that.
Right.
Everyone it's still a uniform. I don't know about going to the games looking like you just rolled out of bed and was on the floor.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of going like the rolling out of the floor onto to a game, but on the plane, we had to dress up to get in our cars where no one was going to see us and drive to a plane where you wouldn't go through the normal airport. And it's like, and you're asking us to dress up, and then everyone gets in the plane, and what happens?
Everyone takes it all off.
Right.
Everyone takes it all off and puts on the tracksuit anyways, or puts on, the shorts and the hoodie. So it's like, for that, I'm like, yeah, go for it. So if you make a uniform like that and everyone in the team in the tracksuit, that's great. All for that. Yeah. I still would like dressing up for the games a little bit. I still would like that.
You don't have to be like going to a formal gathering, but A little business casual isn't.
It would be good.
I think that's still.
You know what we could see? Because times are changing. We can't deny that, right, guys? Times are changing. Things are different that we don't understand with some of the young people. Yep. Get off my lawn and all that. But what I can't wait for with the NHL's changing the dress code is what if someone shows up in there to like dressed up as like a furry? I don't know if you guys know what those are.
Full mascot.
But full mascot, and they show up. Like, what happens then?
The Oilers should get 20 Hunter the Lynx costumes. And they all show up at the rink dressed as Hunter the Lynx, plus the real mascot.
Yeah.
So there's 21 Hunter the Lynxes.
Oh, that would be awesome.
There's 21 Hunters the Lynx, whatever.
I don't know what's the plural.
And then you can have a contest on social media, like spot the actual mascot.
Yeah.
Like, people would be like, okay, wait, what's the height? How's that guy? Is that guy's posture like Dreisaitl's? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's pretty tall. He's too tall to be the actual mascot. That would be the shtick for a social media contest or something like that. Get all the players and the real mascot to walk in the mascot costume, and the winning fan gets like a suite for a game or something like that. With Hunter visiting, of course.
Perp walk Hunter the Lynx.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we got the octopus in town tonight. Red Wings Oilers at 7:00. Red Wings, by the way, have won 3 in a row. They're doing pretty well, and the Oilers trying to get back in the win column after the dramatic rally that led to an overtime loss against the Buffalo Sabres. Kass, are you on tonight with Tommy?
I am. I'm looking forward to it.
I will. I don't know if we'll be on together after the game, but I'll certainly be seeing you and listening to you. Gager, you're sticking around. You got EST Afternoons with Hernan coming up. I'm Reed in for Dustin today. My show with Jay Milne is from 3 to 6, so I will talk to you again. Thanks for tuning in to Two Guys on a Goalie, presented by GS Construction.